All right, we are back. So last week you saw pop that whole roof off. Put all of this section's now gone. So the last thing to do now is to take this other panel off, same as we took this panel off here, and to take this whole front section off here, separate that from the front, and then I reckon the next step after that will be to see how we can separate this firewall from this whole front end. So step by step, we're eliminating everything back from the firewall, leaving just this front end, and then I can get rid of this car once and for all. So that is our mission for today. Right, it's off. That was an effort. So, the issue with this was it's pop welded all along here, which is all along here. And the issue is there's, in this section, there's 3 layers. There's this beam across here. Then you've got the firewall that comes up and tucks in underneath. And then you've got this lip that comes up and then goes across. So you can't get a chisel down in there and pop them out. So I just had to keep going with bigger drill bits till it cleared all the weld. And then, as you saw, just a bit of brute force until the rest of them snapped off. I was going to take that panel off first, but then realised that there wasn't really much connecting this panel and that panel to each other, so I thought to make things a little bit easier I might just take this panel here out first so I could easily get to those bits. After that, what I might do is see how this transmission tunnel is held in place. It looks like spot welds around there, and spot welds around there and then down, and this is a separate bit at the back. I'll give that a go. Let's see. Alright, changed my mind. I'm going to leave taking all that off, and I'm going to see if I can take off these 2 rear quarter panels. Just for fun. I've got to take them off anyway. Let's see how we go with that. Righto. That was a bit of a hack job. The only reason why I didn't delicately take this quarter panel off is because, I mean, I'm not sure if you can see that, but it's pretty average. And there's a big hole that I cut in it. It's all pretty average, so I wasn't really going to keep that. So I was a bit brutal in the way I took that off, which is alright. I'm just taking it off just to, I guess, reduce the size of the car. Don't know why. Something to do. Anyway, so that's what it all looks like. It all spot welds along the top here, and then I think it spot welds down the side here. But I just cut all through all that. No worries. So I think I'm done for the day. Okay, it is the next day. Pretty dismal day out there. Woke up feeling a bit average, but this thing ain't going to cut itself up. So I don the old work boots on, I'm out. I reckon I have a shorter day. Get that panel there off, get that panel there off, possibly start trying to get that other inner seal off, and then I think we'll probably call it a day. So as you can see so far, I'm hitting this with the cutting blade because, again, it's not a high priority item. It's just sort of a bit that would be handy to have. So I'm not being delicate taking that off. I'm not keeping any of these floors, because the floors on the passenger side are good. So yeah, I'm not too fussed about cutting these floors up because I'm not using them anyway. But this section here, I might separate these two, this and this, like we did on that side, just because although it's not a high priority item, this one here, I still wouldn't mind taking it all out as one, not accidentally cutting through it. Alright, that's off, brutally taken off. As you can see here though, this is the sort of area that I was interested in probably keeping. Looks like a patch over that rust. That's all rusted out. So I probably won't keep any of this. I might just, where's the rust end on this outside? Might just cut it straight through there, so at least then I have all this just in case. I mean, I might need it, someone else might need it, but that's off. There you go. I guess now I might move on to tackling that. It's going to be a very brutal brutal takeoff, I think, a bit like that one. I don't have much value in this panel. This one's probably, maybe was nicer than the other panel until I cut this big hole in it here, which, if you remember from one of the other videos, was to fill a rust gap in that one in the same area. So there's a big rust hole, or botched up rust hole right here, so I cut that whole section out for that one. So I might just get the grinder out again and just take this off the same way I took that one off, and then I think I'm going to call it a day and go lie on the couch for a bit. Alright, I reckon that's me done for the day. So we got this bit here sorted out, this sill taken off totally, and this rear quarter panel off. You can see here, so I think the history of this car is that it must have had a big bang in the back end, because if you can see here, they've actually grafted on this. You can see here, this weld here, so this whole structure here coming up to here, oof, boing, this whole structure here coming down here, this section, you can see the weld going straight across there and then up and then across, and then the weld across here. So this whole box section here has been grafted onto this, and this whole side quarter panel, rear panel here has been welded on there. And yeah, I don't really have any use for the rest of this. I've got a bit of rust, which you saw in one of the early videos, right on the back, sort of right about here on that car. So I don't know how rusty it is behind this panel on that car. But I'm not going to keep this box back section because, as I said, it's been sort of patchwork together in that corner anyway. So luckily I've got this, there you go, you can see there, that one there, which is in way better condition. So I'm going to use that one over there. All that's just going to go. So that's where we're at. Does not really look like a car anymore. Looks like some weird, like a mini moke. Anyway, so that's where we're at. I think that's a pretty productive weekend. Just edging way closer to getting this out, so then the real fun can begin, I think. The motivation is still up there. Go team.